The number 2 resource is this, is willpower, that will to change it, the motivation to take action. And I guess this would be maybe an extra little 4th myth that people have, is that, awareness and willpower is something that we should and can have all the time, every time. And I don't know that that's necessarily true. There are moments where we have more awareness and willpower, and I think we need to allow for ourselves. There are moments where we're going to have less of it. But that's why it's so important that when we do have awareness and we do have that motivation and willpower, that we immediately channel it into creating habits, so that the things that are most important to us in our lives become habits that no longer take awareness, no longer take willpower, because now they're just things that we automatically do day in and day out. So, step number 1 in this whole process is to, recognize when you have that awareness. And if you come to an awareness of a new habit, but you realize it's like, look, I'm already forming these other 2 new habits, so I'm going to go and write this habit down for later, so that you don't squander that awareness, so that you have it there to refer to later. And then number 2, when you do, ride those waves of motivation and willpower and channel them into forming habits, and keep those myths that we talked about in mind, it'll be far more effective for you. So that's like the beginning step, and we'll talk about some of the other steps, but that beginning step is to notice and harness awareness and willpower. What thoughts do you have about that, Sterling?
Well, I think it's funny, because what occurred to me is what's going to be in our quick tip has a lot to do with awareness and willpower, just as a little teaser for that. But for me, just again, to give that real simple example of what I'm actually working on this month, the awareness is that I wanted to get some exercise in, and that my body really needed it. And the willpower actually for me isn't the actual exercise, it's actually getting me to the gym. Because once I'm there, that's not so bad, because I'm really about being efficient. So if I've taken the time to get all the way to the gym, I've changed, I got my swimsuit, I got my workout clothes, I'm got them changed on. Like, just getting there is the whole issue, because once I'm there, it just happens. So for me, the willpower is that, it's scheduled every week. I've made it so the Google Calendar, it's just automatically scheduled at 4 to 6, actually, because I do the elliptical, I work out, and then I do the sauna and spa, which I found that was the part that really helps me, and I put it at the end because I really like that part.
Yeah.
Getting in that hot tub and the steam room, I love that. So I'm like, that even helps me with the willpower to get to the gym. Because in my mind, I go, well, maybe I'll just do 10 minutes on the elliptical, then I'll get into the steam room. And usually I end up just finishing everything. And as far as awareness, I also noticed that when I go alone, I'm a little less motivated when I'm there to do everything. So with that awareness, I got myself a workout buddy.
Yeah.
And we both go at the same time. And man, I do everything when he's there, especially because he looks good. And I'm like, I want that. And I gotta, do what he's doing to get that. So anyway, that's how I've harnessed awareness and willpower specifically this month.
Well, yeah, those are great examples. I mean, it is. It's about knowing yourself and being aware of, well, what do I need to make this happen? How do I make this so I'm incentivized? How do I, and noticing those things about yourself, it's like, yeah, you know what? Having a workout buddy, having that accountability, knowing that he's going to be there, and so I need to be there, and and we'll talk about that more in the next episode with some of the other steps. But that's a perfect example of awareness. And I'm glad you mentioned the quick tip, because I'm very excited to talk about that. But anyway, we're looking forward to part number 2. And, for now, just kind of take a look at maybe where some of those myths have been tripping you up, and start thinking about some of those habits that you do want to form, and maybe what is the most high leverage one that you can start forming now for your internet business, whatever point you might be at in that process. I mean, it might be a content creation habit that you want to create. It might be a traffic generation. It might be just spending the 2 hours or 1 hour every day working on your business. It may be tracking your time to make sure, so you get more productive, and so making that a habit. It may be, sitting down and doing getting things done, GTD, David Allen, that book that we've talked about, maybe just making that process a habit. So whatever it is, see if you can identify a high leverage one that you can start working on right now. And then in the next part, we'll talk about some more specific steps about how to put that habit into action and make sure that you achieve it. All right, quick announcement and, a breakthrough, I guess, that we wanted to share with you. Again, this one comes from an Academy member in the Academy forums. This is Trevor, who says, I selected my niche, found a great business partner, my wife, put together a WordPress site, and made our first 2 podcasts. The learning curve I've had to get around has been immense, but I am proud of the progress we've made. Now it's time to drive traffic, build our list, and create a product. And I'd have to say that is a lot of stuff. And the awesome thing is it's all in the perfect trajectory. Selecting your niche, finding a business partner, which is a great thing. If you can find the right business partner, it definitely brings a lot of benefits. Getting your site up, first 2 podcasts, and it just seems like Trevor's wasting no time in getting this out there. So big congratulations on that. And if you want to check out Trevor's site, it is marathontrainingacademy.com.
Well, and I was going to actually mention that marathon training is a very cool niche in terms of cash, because one of my really good friends in San Diego, Kevin, he actually has a site that all he teaches is one aspect of triathlons.
Yeah.
Just the swimming part.
Wow.
And makes his entire living on that passion, because that's what he, I guess, was a coach teaching swimming for these. His is actually called tryswimcoach.com. And I know he does very well. Every time we were hanging out, he was just back from the beach or going to the beach, or, he's got a pretty good lifestyle. Just teaching, it always blows me away. He's just teaching one aspect of triathlons, not even the whole thing. Right. So this Marathon Training Academy sounds like a really good niche to be in.
Yeah, so let us know how that goes, Trevor. Thank you for sharing that breakthrough with us.
It's time for the Internet Business Quick Tip.
All right, so in the quick tip this episode, like we said before, we've got an actual book, which I don't think we've had before. Have we had a book?
Maybe once or twice. I don't know. It's usually like a link or a resource, but...
yeah, so... Yeah, we got a book this time, and like we said, we've had more impact from this book in our lives than 4-Hour Workweek, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Getting Things Done combined. And it's definitely... Anytime I mention this to people, they're like, what? And a lot of people go, well, I guess I'll get around to this one, but it really, really has heavily impacted us. And that is The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. And it's funny because I just mentioned to that friend I mentioned earlier in the episode, and he was like, oh, I never thought a book about self-esteem was anything you needed to read or you thought you would need to read. And it's funny because when it was mentioned to me by one of my best friends, he's a psychotherapist. He just loves this author and bases his whole practice and stuff on self-esteem building. I thought the same thing. I went, I've got some good self-esteem.